The Jeep Gladiator is one of the last truly capable pickup trucks, offering unparalleled off-road capabilities, solid comfort levels, and an incredibly charismatic character. However, despite all this, the Gladiator had a few glaring issues, most notably with the completely outdated technology and a very limited choice of engines. Thankfully, Jeep has finally decided to tackle these issues, and the upcoming redesign will finally put the Gladiator atop the food chain. So let's not waste any time and check out how the all-new 2025 Jeep Gladiator shocks the entire car industry. The hybrid is finally here. One of the biggest mysteries of the Jeep Gladiator was the fact that it didn't come with a hybrid drivetrain. This left most of us scratching our heads, as the 3.6-liter V6 that came as standard with the truck was both lackluster in terms of power as well as very thirsty. What made this even more confusing is the fact that the Gladiator's sister car, the Wrangler, has been offered as a hybrid for years now. Thankfully, after years of waiting, the Gladiator will finally be offered with a hybrid drivetrain. Better late than never, as they say. The Gladiator Hybrid, also known as the Gladiator 4xe, will utilize the same drivetrain as the Wrangler. This means that its beating heart will be a 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder that will be supported by two electric motors. This allows the powertrain to push out 380 horsepower. The engine itself pushes out a very solid 270 horsepower, which is near as make no difference to the V6, while also offering more torque and considerably better gas mileage. Combining it with an electric drivetrain only further amplified that, as the Gladiator will now achieve mile-per-gallon figures upwards of 40 miles per gallon E. Oh, and did we mention that this is a plug-in hybrid? This means that you'll have quite a bit of electric autonomy, allowing you to do city driving nearly exclusively using the electric drivetrain, allowing you to keep miles per gallon figures extremely low. The hybrid powertrain will completely obliterate the Pentastar V6 in every way possible. However, it'll also be noticeably more expensive than it too. And if you're the type of person who needs a bit more power, but doesn't have that kind of money to buy the 4xe, don't worry, because there's a new power plant in town. What made us question Jeep even more is the fact that there was no V8 power plant for the Gladiator, especially since the Wrangler had it from day one. Well, guess what? You still aren't getting a V8. The V8 itself is, alongside the Pentastar V6, being replaced by an all-new power plant. We are, of course, talking about the Hurricane i6 engine, which has seen a dawn in most Stellantis products in the past few years, with its most notable appearance being with the all-new Charger, as well as a facelifted Ram 1500. The Hurricane i6 is a 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged inline-six powerhouse of an engine that has been widely adored by many for its incredible power, solid economy, and unparalleled torque. The engine's power output varies from 420 to a whopping 550 horsepower. This makes it easily one of the best power-per-liter deals on the market. Seriously. Even the weakest variation has nearly 150 horsepower more than the Pentastar V6, while also achieving better miles per gallon. The Hurricane also pushes out between 470 and 521 pound-feet of torque, making it twice as torquey as the V6. This makes it ideal for towing, hauling, and even off-roading, as the added torque and power are a welcome addition, however you look at them. Last, but certainly not least, the inline-six layout allows for a much smoother running engine than a V6 or a V8, making the car a much more pleasant thing to ride in, seeing how it won't need to scream all the time. Out of all the variants, it is most likely the Gladiator that will see the 420 horsepower variant, as 500 horsepower plus would simply be overkill for a mid-sized pickup truck. Still, even with 420 horsepower, it'll be stronger than the F-150 Raptor, the current king of the segment in terms of power. That said, not all Gladiators will get a 3.0 inline-six. The lower-end models will drop the V6 Pentastar in favor of the 2.0-liter turbocharged 4, which will now serve as the base engine for the truck. If you ask us, We say that's good riddance from Jeep and Stellantis, as the 3.6 has been dragging itself for quite some time now. However, changes to Jeep's pickup truck won't be only under the hood, as the Gladiator gets some new tech. The Gladiator has recently been redesigned, and this refresh introduced us to quite a bit of kit that was lacking in the old Gladiator. This includes exterior tweaks, an interior that is stylish and daily usable, and tech that doesn't come straight from the 90s. However, even with the redesign, the Gladiator was missing quite a bit of stuff to make it feel truly special. For example, despite constant pleas from the fan base for Jeep to offer LED headlights as standard, the Gladiator will still mostly be found with regular old halogens. Thankfully, with the 2025 model year, you can kiss that outdated tech goodbye in favor of increased creature comforts, as well as general style and safety. First, the aforementioned halogen headlights will now be replaced with LED lights on all trim levels. This will allow for much better nighttime visibility, as well as increased style for the car, as it will bring the Gladiator right into the 21st century. Once again, a bit late to the party. However, better late than never, right? Another major change will be the amount of kit that you'll be getting with the base model. The biggest change will, by far, be the fact that the 8-speed automatic gearbox will now come as a free option. You'll still be able to pick up a manual Gladiator. However, you won't need to add $2,000 on top of its price tag to get an automatic. Furthermore, you will now get power windows and mirrors as standard, as well as a power-locking tailgate and doors. Seriously, how did Jeep have the audacity to charge extra for these features? It's a 2024, for God's sake! Apart from this, there will also be similar small quality of life changes for the lower-end variants. You shouldn't expect anything grand or new, however. It will all amount to the truck being more livable than it is now. However, there is a very grand change that awaits us with the 2025 version, and that is the fact that an all-electric version is coming too. Yes, you heard that right. The all-electric Gladiator is finally hitting the market with the 2025 model year. And not just that, but the Wrangler will also get its fully electrified variant too. This version of the Gladiator and Wrangler will most likely share their powertrain with the recently announced Jeep Recon. This means that you can expect enormous levels of power from it, which translates into the truck being a true menace for hauling stuff, as well as off-road ventures. There isn't a lot of info on this variation of the Gladiator and Wrangler. However, some sources state that the power will possibly reach a whopping 600 horsepower, which is just astonishing for a vehicle of this size. That said, there will be a few drawbacks with this version. The first one is the bed space, which will be significantly reduced because of the batteries. The second one is the weight of the car, as the all-electric Gladiator will undoubtedly be much heavier than its regular counterpart. The final problem will be the price, which is expected to be exponentially higher than the regular variation. As a result, the electric version will be made in smaller numbers. There's also a possibility of a delay until 2026. However, nothing has been confirmed. Speaking of the price, it's high time for us to look at the 2025 models, pricing, and trim levels. Just like the 2024 model, the Gladiator will once again be at the top of its segment in terms of pricing. That said, it will now offer quite a lot of stuff for similar amounts of money. The first in line is the Gladiator Sport, which will now start from a little over $40,000. And while yes, this is a $1,000 price increase over the current model, you are getting quite a bit of stuff for your money. We'd argue that, if you're looking for sheer value for money, you need not look elsewhere. The Gladiator Sport S will now start at a little less than $44,000, and we'd say that you should just save your money and go for regular Sport. Yes, you will be getting a leather-trimmed steering wheel, as well as some other quality-of-life features. However, functionality upgrades will be rather limited. Though Willys is, in our opinion, the absolute best value for the money, as for a little more than $47,000, you'll be getting a much more stylish exterior and interior, improved off-road capability, as well as added tech. Nothing mind-blowing, but still worth it in our opinion. The Mojave and the Rubicon, however, aren't worth it. Yes, they're exceptional off-roaders, with the Mojave being the only desert-rated Jeep. However, they're also close to $59,000, which simply isn't worth it. Not to mention that the i6 engine is an optional extra on them. On the other hand, the Mojave X and Rubicon X present a better value proposition, as they will be fully kitted out for only $6,000 over the two previously mentioned trim levels. This means that you'll be getting a larger touchscreen, better seats, and even greater off-road performance, while also getting the inline-6 engine, all as standard. Finally, the hybrid prices are yet to be announced. However, we believe that they will be around $10,000 more expensive on average compared to their traditional counterparts. The all-electric version is expected to start at over $70,000, if it even gets released for the 2025 model year.